It is the end of the week, and so it's time to take out the trash. I've got some garbage for you. My garbage person of the week is someone who my gut says, we don't have numbers on this, my gut says might be the person I've most often put in the trash. And this person, I try not to every time because I hate talking about this person, because this person is not just awful. For every bit awful they are also being it purposefully in a very dishonest way. Like it's a thing that they're doing, so I don't like engaging with it. But sometimes the garbage stinks so bad that you just have to get rid of it. And so my garbage is Tucker Carlson, seen here demonstrating, well, you know. So he's trash and he's going in the garbage today. Why? Because he decided that in the wake of this horrible murderous violence at the Capitol, an event that could have led to any number of our elected representatives, mostly Democrats, but some Republicans as well, being killed, that if you were scared during that time that you might be one of those in the Capitol building that were killed, he thinks that that's hilarious. And here he is attacking Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Has happened. Therefore, you've got to hand the worst people in the world the keys to your life. See how that works? As if you needed more evidence that it's all about what's good for Sandy Cortez and her friends, and not about what's good for you, because nobody cares about that. Watch her new position, her revised position on defunding the police. This is from the other day.
Many of us nearly and narrowly escaped death. There were members of Capitol Police who were quite heroic. You know, we have many officers, and you know, there were also black and brown officers that were confronting white supremacists and putting themselves not just to protect members, but they put themselves in harm's way.
Narrowly escaped death. When the most harrowing thing you've done in life is pass freshman sociology at Boston University, every day is a brand new drama. Sandy's heart is still beating fast. But she likes the cops now, despite the fact they're white supremacists. What a difference a day makes. And Sandy Cortez is not alone. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
Okay, so look, it's not gonna come as a surprise to anyone in the audience that he's absolute garbage. And there's no standards for anything, let alone on Fox. But if there was any justice, if Fox cared at all about their reputation, his career should be done after that. A congresswoman made a video about the fact that she was almost murdered, and he mocked her viciously, contemptuously, making up a name for her, because why not? Just call her whatever you want.
Sandy.
Mocking her in that way is insane. That was utterly insane, that entire thing. That's what a guy who makes like 30 million plus a year devoted his news hour to, was mocking a woman who was afraid that she might die. And we're gonna walk through a couple different aspects of this. But the overall thing here is there are few people in the country who do more work constantly on a daily basis to whip people into a frothing hatred of AOC. There are few people who have contributed as much to individualized hatred and desire for violence against her than Tucker Carlson. And so that's the first part of the grift. The second part is when people actually act on it, you then get to mock the people who narrowly escaped the mob that we have to assume loves everything that Tucker Carlson says. They mock her. She was very right to be afraid. We're finding out, obviously, as we knew at the time, Capitol rioters meant to capture and assassinate officials. That is what some of them wanted to do. And so he's mocking her for being thankful that the cops protected her, pretending that she's ever called for the complete annihilation of all cops, which is literally, obviously, and he knows, not a thing that she's ever called for. And he is saying now, by effect, that all of the cops who protected those individuals, led them away, the cop who was beaten to death, F them, because that wasn't a serious attack. A cop was just beaten to death by something that isn't serious. And he has said that since then. It was not an insurrection. This was not a big deal. There was nothing racist about this, nothing white supremacist about this. This was not a big deal. Sure, a cop got bludgeoned to death and other people died and dozens of cops were injured. And at any other point, he would use that to forget, you don't even have to think about this entire movement. But with her, no. totally fine. It's totally cool. And we're gonna point out a few other aspects of hypocrisy on this. But Brett, I've been talking for a long time. I want to let you get in.
Sandy Cortez. That is insane that he calls her Sandy Cortez. So I have no idea where that came from. Benefit of the benefit of the benefit of the doubt as she went by Sandy at one point and then was like, no, I want to be Alexandria again, which is my freaking name. And he wants to call her Sandy Cortez to dehumanize her and then do, which is a very like racist. No, you're not a person of color. You're Sandy. I would come up with a ridiculous, stupid name for Tucker Carlson, but his name is already a ridiculous, like bow tie that has a social security number name like Tucker. You've got to be kidding me. Swanson bro, Tucker Carlson, and then also, you want to talk about complaining about not near-death experiences? Didn't you do a whole segment about how the New York Times was gonna dox you when they never did and never were going to? Yep, and you're like, and you did a whole segment, my family's in danger. I'm gonna, and then had people in his audience ended up doxing the reporter.
Yeah, and he lied about the attack. He said that they like broke down his door. People took photos of the door afterward. There was literally no damage. There was a protest. There were some people who were across the street from his house. That's what happened. And he pretended that this was the worst thing that has ever happened. But a literal band of crazy conspiracy theorists roaming through the halls, killing people. If you thought that was dangerous, well then you're Sandy. And it's funny, why are you freaking out? The worst experience you've ever had was passing sociology. Yeah, AOC hasn't lived life on the rough streets Tucker Carlson has. He literally has spent his entire life wearing bow ties. And he's telling other people that they don't get to claim that their life is difficult. I have no doubt that as I'm saying this, AOC is receiving death threats and rape threats. It must be constant.
Listen,
and he's criticizing her.
Tucker Carlson,
really fast. Wait, Tucker, wait, hold on one more second, Brett. One more thing about Tucker Carlson. I have, like, there are people who will go on Fox News to get the progressive message across. Bernie Sanders did, I get that. There are other people who claim that you can do the same thing on Tucker Carlson, and I have long disagreed with that. But like, this is who he is and what the show is. If you go on his show and it's not to talk about this, to attack him for this, to attack the constant racist like incitement to violence that his show is, there's no valid reason. This is who he is. This is what the show is. And it's not just him. And it's not just the writer that he had to jettison after we found out that he had spent literally years writing racist comments online. This is what his audience wants the show to be about. They tune in for a 1 hour hate against AOC and Ilhan Omar. They were transitioning to Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley's husband has COVID now. Ayanna Pressley is immunocompromised. She could die, her husband could die. We don't have the rest of the video for you, but I guarantee it wasn't sympathetic. He is there to give old white people license to hate black and brown people. That's all the show is. And to get them to continue to support a white supremacist fascist government with the occasional set dressing of, I say the ruling class once every 3 months. That's what the show is, and we all know that. Everyone in the audience knows that. Everyone has shows like this knows that. If you go on his show to chase clout, you are supporting that same racism, that same fascism. Let's be very clear about that. That has been true for a very long time. But with every passing show that is this vile racist garbage, it becomes more and more undeniable. Sorry, Brett.
No, I'm with you. Just the idea that he says like she has never had anything more harrowing than passing a sociology test. She just was in a building that was invaded by terrorists who said they wanted to kill her. And she's always gotten those. But like for Tucker Carlson, I watched him make a joke about Antifa, and in his attempt to call everyone else elitist, he made like a Sag Harbor joke, which I didn't even get. I don't know what it is, but he made like an elitist joke about it. I don't know
what that was.
He's talking about like, he's also, it's just so frustrating because even before she was in Congress, he's made fun of her for being a bartender, for having like a blue collar job. He's so against blue collars that there was like an entire situation in the 90s where he wore those like blue shirts with the white collar in it. Like that's Tucker Carlson. He's that guy. She was he's a Swanson heir. He's a gajillionaire. He's been doing a show from his palace in the sky, pretending
one of his
to
multiple palaces,
pretending to be on your side. How can anyone watch Tucker Carlson, the floppy-haired, millionaire, and with HEIR at the end, and think that when he advocates for real people, he ever cared about real people? He doesn't. He never can. He can't. He never will. That is pathetic and disgusting. Calling her Sandy. Ugh. Are we past? When can I stop saying?
If she, really fast, if she had died, he would have done some other mocking thing. Like, oh, you're freaking out because one person died. Yeah, well, other people died some other time. I know that even some people probably agree with me generally, probably think that I'm going too far. There is no line, there's literal no line. If members of Congress had been killed there, they would have run defense for the terrorists that night. They did it anyway with the cop that was killed. Like literally, he doesn't care that a cop was beaten to death. You think he'd care more if a Democrat was? Anyway, we're done. We're not talking about Tucker Carlson anymore.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.